Hi, welcome to another episode of my channel. Recently, the world is talking a lot about ChatGPT, Midjourney, OpenAI, and the endless possibilities they bring. I talked about this as well in my previous episodes. We said that AI might take a lot of white-collar jobs in the midterm future. I also said, based on the OpenAI research papers, that physical jobs will be less impacted. But this is only a matter of time, because there is another revolution hiding right behind the corner: robots powered by AI. I know what you're thinking. Another robot like the Optimus presented by Elon Musk. No, I'm talking about something more advanced to some extent. In one corner we have Boston Dynamics, and in a smaller sense the Amica robot. Both have demonstrated that robots can possess human-like dexterity. So, what if we combine AI's new language understanding with a robot's physical body? Recently, Google has done exactly this, and the outcome is quite intriguing. In this episode, we will explore the topic in depth and examine the potential future implications. Google Research Labs, along with another Alphabet subsidiary called Everyday Robots, have teamed up to make a new kind of a robot. This new robot doesn't just do tasks that were already programmed. Instead, it can understand spoken tasks in normal language and then do them for you. This method gets rid of the obvious problems with pre-programmed hard coding and opens the door to a huge number of ways to accomplish this goal. One of Google's most powerful AI brains was put in a robot body. A 2022 paper that was released in Nature found something interesting. When studies were done to measure human brain patterns and compare them to AI language models, there were a lot of strange similarities, especially in how both systems handled language. In particular, the way they guess words based on the surrounding text. In addition, their neural activations are very similar. The way the human brain responds to written words is very similar to how the AI's brain works. So it sounds strange, but the studies shows that AI language models are starting to act like human brains. It's kind of a weird, but maybe it's just because technology is starting to help us figure out how biology works. Who knows? But let's go back to the robot. In short, the actual robot is like the hands and eyes of the language models. While the language model gives the information needed to do the job. To give an example, a user can say, "I've spilled my drink," as a job. The sentence is figured out by the robot. Using the language model, the company's software comes up with a lot of ideas, but it only picks the ones that it can do the best. Then it looks at its surroundings to figure out how to physically move forward. Okay, so this couldn't have been too hard to do, right? Well, this is only possible because of a lot of careful engineering. If you ask an AI language model a question, it will give you a clear and reasonable answer. But that answer might not be possible or useful for the robot. For example, if you say, "I spilled my drink," the language model might say, "You could try using a map." However, if there is no map in the scene, or if the robot can't use a map, the job is impossible. Researchers at Google came up with a way for the robot to figure out what it can and can't do. More on this later. AI computer vision was used to connect what the robot sees with its huge amount of internet-based information. The robot can understand and do something as complicated as, "I spilled my orange soda. Can you throw it away, bring me something to clean it up, and then bring me a replacement?" So, the most important thing is that the machine is pretty open-ended. For example, general manufacturing machines must be carefully programmed to do a very specific job. So, how do we get to understand? The robot is made with Google Research's PaLM model. Pathways Language Model is what PaLM stands for. It's a program that has learned from reading a lot of writing from the internet. We're talking about factors with hundreds of billions of values and petabytes of text. It can now understand words because all of this training. These kinds of large-scale models for learning languages have only been around for about 3 years. They are very different from services like Siri or Alexa because they are trained on billions of different factors and many different levels. This so-called LLM or large language model has been recently enhanced with so-called Inner Monologue. The role of Inner Monologue is to close the loop on LLM-based task planning with other sources of information, such as human feedback or scene understanding, to detect when the robot fails to complete the task correctly. It allows LLMs to effectively replan if the current or previous plan steps fail, enabling the robot to recover from failures and complete complex tasks. Inner Monologue helps in detecting and correcting errors in the robot's actions, ensuring that it performs tasks correctly and efficiently. Now, in addition to the PaLM model, the researchers used another set of code to tell the computer what it can and can't do. This code, called Wolrd grounding, cuts out acts that are dangerous or don't make sense.
Machine learning is one of the few things that we have that really makes it possible to get computers to behave intelligently in unstructured environments. By using experience, using data, using things that the computer's seen in the past to figure out patterns.
Reinforcement learning is one of our big bets. It's a machine learning algorithm where each time the robot attempts to do a task, we can reward it if it succeeds, tell it that it didn't succeed if it fails, and then the things that lead it to succeed get rewarded more and more often, and it gets better and better at the task. And this is something we can do across many robots at the same time to share that learning and that experience.
At the same time, the software was thought in a virtual world so that it could gain the benefits of knowledge through a simulated environment without having to spend a lot of time in the real world. This was done so that the software could share what it had learned and what it had done to speed up the learning process.
We can really multiply our impact by having the robots also practice how to do things in simulation. We can do things like simulate many other buildings and many other types of objects and many other types of lighting conditions and backgrounds.
And what we've been able to do with the simulator is significantly reduce the amount of real-world data that we've needed, on the order of going from about 500,000 attempts all the way down to only needing 5,000 attempts to learn grasping.
So, finally, the robot's word grounding was connected to another piece of code that turns high-level instructions into low-level tasks that can then be done. When all of this is done, you'll have a robot that can understand and do things on its own, and it will do them better than anything else on the market right now. Google says in their study that the language model and robot choose the right order of skills 84% of the time and do them correctly 74% of the time. This is 50% better than the latest study that came out before. The computer scientists also say that their speed keeps getting better as the language model gets better, so this could get a lot better in a short amount of time. The team said that the mobile robot could follow a long list of abstract directions in a real kitchen with things it had never seen before. This is important because it is the first time a big model has been used in a real robot. It is an important step in the area of robotics. Based on these results, language modeling needs to be improved in the area of robotics. As for the robots, there are 100 of them doing jobs around Google's offices on their own.
It has to wander around buildings, find the trash cans, look in them, understand what's in them, and if something's in the wrong bucket, which actually humans are legitimately trying to get it into the right bucket, and they're still not doing it often enough, and that's why all of it's going into landfill. Look in those buckets, robot, and if you can, move it into the right bucket.
The sorting experiment is really pushing us to try and write an application that improves by itself, just through practice. Is that gonna work? I hope so.
Our robots may or may not be sorting waste 5 years from now. What we actually care about is, can the robots learn from experience?
The way we made it, the tools and recipes we used to create this pick an object out of a bin capability, we'll be able to use that same recipe to learn a new skill.
So, that was a lot to think about. What does this mean for bots in the future? Even though it is a big step forward right now, Google's robot is pretty slow and can only pick up simple items. But then we have to think about what will happen in 10 to 15 years. Considering how quickly bots and the new AI that is starting to power them are improving, we'll have to worry about physical automation taking over entry-level jobs like fast food. There is a good chance that this will happen. But on the other hand, language model robots can be used in a lot of different ways. They could be used to help care for the elderly, grow food, or clean up dangerous waste and pollutions. In any case, the future is definitely going to be interesting. In summary, I would like to have one of these Google robots in my house, and I definitely do see the value in the research for certain situations. As a side, if you're confused and asking yourself what implications the advanced AI might have on your life, you're in luck, because I've done a whole documentary on it and you can check it out in the description below. I just think it's an important story that adds a lot of context to what's happening today. Anyways, that's about it from me. My name is Jakub and you've been watching my channel. If you did enjoy this episode, don't bother subscribing, but instead have a browse of this channel. There's plenty of interesting stuff on here. Alright, so I'll see you again soon for the next episode. Cheers guys, stay safe.